Throughout the remainder of the workday, I don't speak a single word to her. That sounds like a great idea. The following day, Lissa finally arrives at work, offering no explanation of why she was absent for the past 2 days. All she tells us she had to work from home. As for Alexis, I made an effort to follow through with her punishment. The redhead timidly approaches my desk. What a splendid morning, huh, Flare? How are you doing today? Yes, I'm liking this somehow. Come on, seriously? Nothing? What's wrong with you? Why won't you talk to me? I continue to write away at my desk, unfazed by her comments. No, sorry, take it back. Just tell me what's on your mind, will ya? Is it me? Is that it? Do you hate me now or something? Please, I promise to be nicer to you. Will that help? Nothing? What the heck? How about... Hey Flare, I actually have a favour to ask. Would you be so kind as to help me, pretty please? pretty please? Go ask Lissa instead. Upon saying that name, the woman's mood instantly changes. What? Blank no. You know you're the only one I can ask. So, why don't you say something to me, Flare? Like, what the hell did I ever do to you that you're acting like this towards me? Let me see. Let me get the A0 page that illustrates in full detail, in the smallest writing that I could ponder possible, to fill up the entire A0 piece of paper to explain from start to finish what you've done to us as a person and how you've treated us and how you have made us poor in the sense of your clothes splurging, food indulging, sense of selfishness. Just say something already, goddammit. You can't keep doing this forever, you know. Stop trying to pretend that you're cool. Is this all some kind of joke to you? Never mind then. The woman storms across the room and back to her desk. Late in the afternoon, I realise that the office seems too quiet. I haven't heard a peep from Alexis in hours, not even during lunch. Curious about what she might be doing, I get up and go over to her desk to find her missing. Concerned, I head to Lissa's office. Hey Lissa, do you know where Alexis is at the moment? I haven't heard from her since this morning. Hehe, that is what you get for ignoring her. Wait, how did you know about that? You didn't think I would notice your little scene this morning? You didn't even bat an eye at her. Oh right, that makes sense. I find it hilarious that you're trying so hard to maintain this non-healing bad boy impression. You're so used to being supportive and helpful that you kept filtering. I'm just worried about Alexis. Of course you are. I know you would never do anything like this without a good reason. With a giggle, the woman blushes a lock of hair out of her face. If you want to know where she is, she's in the restroom. You have nothing to worry about. She isn't going to have a mental breakdown simply because you refuse to converse with her today. Alexis is a big girl. She can handle a little rejection. Rejection, that's the word. Lissa glides out of the conversation to fetch herself a cup of coffee, humming a sprightfully tune all the way. While. Regardless of what Lissa claims, I have to make sure that Alexis is feeling alright. Part of me believes I've gone too far with the silent treatment thing, even if it feels like she deserves it. Despite the redhead's shortcomings, I still regard her as someone dear to me. Besides that, I have a nagging suspicion that she'd crumble from feeling unwanted and abandoned. I pretend to mind my own business by roaming around the office. Then, when no one's looking... What? That's not good. That's not good, man. I instantly spot Alexis standing in the far corner and cocooned against the back wall and sink as if she's trying to hide. The same gloominess that struck her when Lissa lectured her last week is present in her body language. Taking notice of my presence, the woman lifts her head to find me standing there. What do you want? In case you didn't get the memo, guys aren't supposed to be in here. She seems peeved at me, which is an understatement response. In the tables were turned. I surely feel the same way. Okay, how should I start? I shouldn't have completely ignored you like I did, Alexis. I'm sorry. On the other hand, though, you were clearly out of line yesterday. You kept pushing me, and it was uncomfortable. Don't you think forcing me to repeat myself would make me want you more, even though you verbally harassed me for minutes on end? Well, now that you mention it, no, don't you dare start. Stop imposing your demands on me like you expect me to always obligate you. She twirls her hair with one hand and then reaches towards the ceiling with the other. It's just, how can I explain it? Sometimes I get scared. Scared of what? I kneel next to her, the enticing fragrance of peach-scented fragrance filling my nose. Just, there's gnawing fear like I stand on brittle ground, as if everything underneath me is going to collapse in an instant like a house of cards. I have to wake up every day hoping that I don't lose my job. The news about how poorly our last game is doing makes things only get worse. Don't you get what I mean? I do completely. That doesn't explain why you're trying to get me to say things though. I mean, aren't my feelings already clear? No. Maybe to you, but not to me. I still don't know. I still don't know. The redhead shakes her head in confusion. I stand up, lean in, and tilt her chin towards me. I want to prove that my desire for her is true. I see this woman for who she truly is as I gaze into her mysterious blue eyes. A fearful yet tender girl hiding beneath mountains of defense mechanisms. You know, I thought you already realized that words are petty. I stroke her hair as I dive in to affectionately kiss her. The rich taste of her lipstick only drives me wilder. I wrap my arms around Alexis, holding her tightly. Suddenly she pulls away from my lips to lean against the wall. Flare, do you still want me? Seeing her flustered face aroused expression, flushed face, and slightly wrinkled uniform, I can't stop myself from tinging with desire. I'm turned on more than ever. Not even being walked in on by a co-worker could settle me down at this point. Of all the things I want right now, I inch closer, deliberately rubbing my crotch against hers to whisper into her ears. Oh, no. You're doing how much I want you. I want you so badly. Alexis leaps onto me, placing one hand behind my head, on the other on my shoulder as she thrusts her tongue into my mouth. I'm intoxicated by the delicious taste of raw intimacy. I gently let her down while we simultaneously come down from our highs, breathing heavily in the aftermath. Alexis nuzzles up to me, kissing me on the forehead before fixing her outfit. You are amazing. Well, do you believe me when I say I want you now? Yeah, I do. I'll never doubt you again. Late in the afternoon, I go to find Alexis and check whether or not she's on task. However, it quickly becomes apparent that Redhead left early without notifying me for whatever reason. To get to the bottom of her truancy, half worried that she might still be upset with me, I rush towards the boss's office. Once Alexis hears about the situation, she takes on an indignant stance, her arms folded over her chest. She asks to leave early. Honestly though, what am I going to do with this girl? It's like she thinks she can come and go as she pleases. Do you know why she left? No, I didn't care to ask. It's none of my business. As much as I'd like to force her to be an efficient employee, I'm no hypnotist. The stern woman throws her hands into the air with a grunt. At least the office is quiet now. Yeah, that's one way to look at it. Anyway, thanks. Lyssa's eyes narrow into a preemptive glare. You aren't planning on leaving early too, are you? I sincerely hope you don't have some silly plan to chase after Alexis. No, of course not. I never pull an Alexis. I'm glad to hear that. If you don't have anything else to discuss, you should get back to work. Sure thing, Lyssa. As I walk home, I can't help but recall the makeup blank Alexis and I had in the bathroom. causing my lower half to tingle with lust. I try to push the memory back down, although it's difficult. It's nice getting close to her, but she acts peculiar at times. I'm beginning to understand how people easily misunderstand her, Lister included. I walk into my living room and lock the door. Within seconds, however, I'm hit with the eerie feeling that something's amiss. A dark silhouette lurks in the shadow of the kitchen area, and I feel a strong gaze trained on me. Hello? Is anyone there? No matter how long I wait, there's no answer. Obviously, Alexis is there. When I gain the courage to move again, I'll reach out to turn on the lights. Of course, you would just wander in. To my surprise, Alexis is standing front and center at the dining table with a white fluffy coat in front of her. My first question is how she got into my apartment, but I quickly brush it aside. After all, if Alexis brought cake, she surely has a good reason to be here. She does appear happy to see me. Hey there, Flare. Hey Alexis, I'm kind of surprised to see you here. Is that why you left the office early, to surprise me? Oh Flare, you've read my mind. The woman shifts around on her seat. But it's also because I think I owe you an apology. There are some things I think you should know about me before we go any further. She raises one of her arms from under the table to reveal a long sharp knife, and begins to slice the cake into even pieces starting from the center. I think there's also the fact that she's licking the knife. Don't pull a Yuri from us from Doki Doki Literature Club. You probably think of me as some cult or airhead, but I'm someone who has no idea what to do with her life. You're totally wrong though, and honestly, if there's one thing I hate about people, it's when they get all judgmental over things that aren't even true. She finishes cutting into one section of the cake, swiftly moving on to the next. Here's one more thing you should know. I hate boredom. I hate boring roommates. I hate boring characters in TV shows. And I hate boring lives more than anything. I'm glad you're exciting, Flare. Maybe that's why I like you so much. You're fun and helpful whenever I'm in need. You're such a charmer. With one more corner cut, she slides the knife down another direction. Other than that, the bitterness, coldness, and wretched cruelty of injustice, The redhead eyes flare with a passion that almost matches her hair colour. I hate it so much, but just thinking about it makes me all riled up. She pounds both of her fists against the table, knife still in hand. Pieces of human garbage who violate and take advantage of others. The only way to make this blank world better is to snuff out those worthless, disgusting wastes of air. After taking a long, deep breath, the woman resumes cutting the white cake. If only everyone listened to others, we could all live in a sugary, sweet, tantalizing, delicious, and blissfully dreamy world. I guess I'll have to settle for surrounding myself with tasteful people like you, Flare. You're like a bag of party mix. I don't know what you'll give me with each handful, and I can't wait to find out. That's a rather poetic way of saying that. Alexis licks her lips as she cuts the final section of the cake. Last of all, out of nowhere, the woman begins to haphazardly flail the knife around like a toy. Last of all, I love it when you whisper. She leans towards me, her breath caressing my ear sensuously while she holds the knife right next to my shoulder, far too close for comfort. Like when you're this close to me and then openly, warmly, erotically speaking to my ear, it just gives me such a rush. With a giggle, she falls back against her chair. But I don't like the way you speak to me sometimes. You treat me like a child and it reminds me of Lissa. Do you get what I mean? As she speaks, she twiddles the knife with her fingers. Her behaviour and tone of voice are becoming increasingly unsettling by the minute. At this rate, they may very well be an accidental slip. Alexis, stop waving that thing around. You could seriously hurt one of us. Miraculously, the woman sets the knife down and timidly retracts her hands from the table. I'm sorry for scaring you, Flare. I didn't mean to. I would never hurt you. Yeah, physically I hope. Psychologically, you've already done that to us several times. I know, it's okay. Just be more careful in the future. Yeah, I will. At the very least, I'm glad she's doing her best to listen to me now. On that note, I'd like to say, even if I come off as harsh or strict sometimes, I would never hurt you either, Alexis. Honestly, I do regret some of the things I've said to you. I just want the best for you. You're precious to me. Flare, you're so sweet. Alexis walks over to the sink and pulls out the drawer, retrieving each of us a fork. Speaking of sweets, why don't we enjoy this cake together? Yeah, I like that too. What have you put in the cake? For the rest of the night, we enjoy one another's company, but two of us happily sharing the cake. Somehow, Alexis managed to finish the majority of it on her own. If there's one thing I'll never understand about the woman, is that it's how she can eat so much in one city. That's a good way of putting it. The next day I get back to the routine of trying to complete Missouri Loves Company's bonus content before the end of the week. The past few days have been quite the affair, but I spent unproductively attempting to entertain Alexis. Thinking about everything that's transpired, it's incredible that I've come to know her so well in such a short amount of time, and it's all thanks to the release party last week. Skipping out on work and going on dates. Yeah, that as well. Making up over and sharing an entire cake. I can only wonder what will happen next. I never could have imagined that being with Alexis would be so fun. I skip over to my desk to find that Alexis has been called into the office. Curious, I sneak over and peer through the slightly ajar door. The redhead steps up to the desk and confronts Lisa in a blunt, straightforward manner, although I can't hear her words clearly enough to understand them. Lisa doesn't take whatever it is well. She angrily questions the other woman with as much pushback as she can muster. However, Alexis appears to stand firm in her position, briefly turn away to ignore whatever Lisa stares. To my surprise, tears suddenly well up in Lisa's eyes as she runs over to give Alexis a long heartwarming hug. I've known Lisa for a long time, and she rarely shows this much physical affection towards anyone. In her own words, she finds it to be a sign of acute vulnerability. Whatever Alexis proposed, it's important enough for the stern woman to break her own rules. Once I break apart, the redhead walks towards the exit, visibly mellowed out. I take it as my cue to leave, slinking away before I'm noticed. A few short minutes later, Lisa gathers everyone to make an announcement. Today, I have some unfortunate news to announce. Alexis will be leaving the company, effective tomorrow. She has accepted a job at another game studio, where I'm sure she'll quickly become a valuable asset. I don't want to stretch this into a long-winded speech, so I'll end the announcement with this. I ask that each of you wish Alexis the best in her future endeavours. Although I'll very much miss having her at the office, I'm confident she'll do well at her new position. During lunch, I sneak out of the office to talk to Alexis. Why don't you tell me that you were looking for a new job? I was planning to tell you eventually, I just didn't want to worry you. Besides, I'm surprised I even got hired. Like, I totally didn't think they'd consider me, let alone take me on. My application was a complete shot in the dark. Surprised? What do you mean? I mean, you're a capable and talented artist. The redhead smiles, her cheeks tinting to the colour of her hair. Thank you, Flare. That means a lot coming from you. Anyway, my new job is with a studio that makes first-person shooters. You'll never believe the catch. Apparently, they thought my criminal record was badass. Like, manslaughter is way cooler than some blue-collared crime to them. You committed manslaughter? They probably think it makes me extra qualified if you think about it. That's quite a serious crime if you don't mind me asking what happened. How do I put this? Alexis blushes the hair out of her face and looks off into the distance. It's a long and painful story. I don't want to go too into detail at the moment if you don't mind. Just one night, when I was going home from work, I was pulled into an alley and she starts hyperventilating. I don't know what to do. I was so scared and he wouldn't get away from me, and then I just grabbed whatever I could get my hands on and completely lost him. Tears dribbled down her cheeks. Like, he was a scumbag, but I didn't want to kill him. I just wanted to get away, Flare. I just wanted to get away. As shocked as I am to hear this, I can't bring myself to blame Alexis. I pull her into my arms and she rests on her head on my shoulders. Suddenly, as she wails, the incident from after the release party makes sense. I'm so sorry, Alexis. I hope you never go through that kind of thing ever again. Flare. I kiss her in reassurance, but I'll protect her from now on, even if the vow is only to myself. After her tears have subsided, we resume our conversation. So, now that you're leaving, where does this leave us? My heart sinks in anticipation of her answer. More than anything, I don't want to lose Alexis. Oh Flare, what a silly question. Us not working together doesn't mean we have to break up. Like, I'll still come visit you and stuff. Duh. I mean, it's not like I'm going to be moving away or anything. The other company is only a few blocks away, so it's not like we're going to be that far apart to begin with. I chuckle out of sheer relief and embarrassment. Yeah, I guess you're right. I don't have anything to worry about. But the bigger question is, how do you feel about dating a woman who killed someone? Shouldn't it go without saying? I've already fallen for you, Alexis. I couldn't care less about what happened in your past. The person I want to be with is the you of today. Tears welled up in her eyes yet again. A bait for an entirely happier reason, she leaps into my arms. Oh, Flare, I feel the same way. I was afraid that you wouldn't accept me, but you would want to dump me. There's no way I'd ever do that. Say, Flare, why don't we skip work one last time to celebrate our relationship together? What did you say? Well, unlike you, I still have work tomorrow. I don't know. Come on, is that all you can think about? Work? Let's spend our last day together in style. I promise it'll be tots with it. Plus, today is such a nice day to walk in a park. Please, Flare, pretty please. Alright, I'll go with you as a final parting gift. Yay, if only I could drag you with me to my new job. The woman immediately pulls me by the hand, dragging me down the street without a care in the world. Nah. Somehow we end up at a theme park. We stroll around the place, chatting happily about all of the crazy and wild adventures we'll someday go on together between trying the rides. Even though our relationship has just gotten started, there's never a dull moment with Alexis. No matter what happens, we'll make the best of it together and cherish one another's presence. Nobody knows what the future has in store for the two of us, but I know we'll survive it together. Over years passed since Alexis and I began getting closer. So much has happened since that fateful release party. Following the success of Missouri Loves Company, which jumped into the green thanks to the post-release bonus content, this has promoted me to lead writer for our next project. Alexis has had her share of success at her new job as well, of course. It didn't take long for the two of us to move in together. A mere 6 months in, we signed on to a new apartment located a bit closer to both of our jobs. Yay! After a long Friday at work, I finally head home to spend time with my honey. Aww. As I take off my shoes and step into the living room, I hear Alexis lounging around in the kitchen. Looks like she got back earlier than I did. Upon entering the kitchen, she turns around from behind the counter and practically leaps on me. Why, look who it is, about time you got back. She immediately pulls me closer, wrapping her arms around me. You look pretty stunning for someone who just got off of work. Oh please, enough of the flattery. We both know that's not true. Actually, I could say that about you. You have a lot going for you. The woman lets go of my shoulders long enough for me to give me a sly smirk. Hehe, I don't know about that. You saw how I rolled out of bed with the worst case of bed hair in the freaking world this morning. I had so much trouble trying to straighten it. You know how much time I have to put it to maintain this look? After taking a deep breath, the woman relaxes her shoulders. Without the help of beauty products, I'd feel like a total mess every time I looked in the mirror. It doesn't feel like something to be proud of. I'm not sure where all this is coming from. Everyone has bad mornings, I'll say bad memories, but that has bad memories. You know, did something happen at work today? My question suddenly lifts her spirits. Of course not. I couldn't possibly have a bad day with what I do for a living now. I love my job. But you already know this, don't you? It's great not having to worry about Lisa bossing me around anymore. The only bad part of today was that I didn't get to see you at work. The same goes for me, who would have thought? Well, I like it this way. Alexis nuzzles close to me and kisses me, then lies her head against my chest. I'm so glad that you're here with me, Flare. I feel the same way. Finally, we break apart, and Alexis heads over to the cupboards to take out a large glass bottle. So, it's Friday night. You remember what that means, don't you? You know I can't forget about movie night. What about dinner, though? I'm one step ahead of you. I've already got a pizza going in the oven. Meat lovers? Hehe, what else? Good. Then I'll get the popcorn ready. You do that while I make the couch... Oh, yeah, the couch comfy. Oh, and don't forget to make 2 bags this time, please. Already on it. Yeah, because Alexis will be having 1 3/4 of that sharing of popcorn. After sharing a pizza, I make my way towards the couch with a bowl of popcorn in hand. There, I find Alexis wrapped up in a large quilt with half a dozen pillows stacked around her. You sure do look comfortable. Sure am. I saved a spot here just for you. Come on in. At Alexis' behest, I snuggled up onto the cushion next to her and switched the channel to the movie network. As the credits of the latest movie roll, an advertisement for the next show, an old slasher film about a psychopath, jealous girlfriend who's hell-bent on killing all of her boyfriend's friends, plays on the screen. It reminds me of, it's something about the artist that draws Internet Explorer Chan. That's made like a very, very abysmal relationship between 2 people, and like if anybody from the opposite gender looks at their partner, they are hell-bent on eradicating their existence. They also have a child too, which gets bullied at school. They're airing something crappy like this on TV? Who would even watch this? Are you kidding? I would. This is exactly my type of scene. It's got everything you could ask for. Romance, action, horror, you name it. The perfect combination. Yeah, I get what you're saying, but this looks so bad. What's even the point of having cable nowadays? If the things that get air are this bad. The redhead remains silent, already immersed in a cliched plotline and rapidly stuffing mounds of popcorn into her mouth. Excuse me. With a sigh, I lean back and decide to do my best to make the most of the film. 20 minutes into the movie, the psychotic girlfriend has a mental breakdown over witnessing her beloved chat with some barrister. Man, okay, so I was right. This really is a stupid premise. Who writes these things anyway? I mean, don't you see what's going on? When you take away the violence, it's just stupid, silly, petty drama. Haha, now you mention it, that reminds me. How's the company? How are Alyssa and Mayu doing? I haven't heard about either of them in a while. Well, for starters, we're already ready to release a new game. A story about a cult of vampire ladies. It's got romance themes, of course, surprise, surprise. Already spilling the company's secrets to an ex-staff like me? Are you sure you aren't breaking an NDA right now? I'm pretty sure Alyssa would flip if she found out about this. As if. I've barely told you anything about the game. It doesn't count. Well, I could probably figure it out on my own. Isn't like I can't call Alyssa on some pleasant morning and ask her myself. We're still friends, you know. Yeah, that's true. Maybe you should then. Back in the movie, an argument breaks loose between the main couple, and the psychotic girlfriend storms off in a rage. That is, unless you're secretly cheating on me with Lissa. She did promote you. And I bet she's thrown over how amazing you've become. A lot can happen in a year. I turned to stare Alexis straight in the eyes. Alexis, please believe me when I say that I would never cheat on you with anyone, much less someone like Lissa, who babysit me like as a kid and hired me out of petty. She's practically married to the company. You of all people should know that. Oh, what the hell, Flare? Way to ruin the mood. Aww. Popcorn! The woman playfully grabs a fist of popcorn, throws it in my face. Luckily I managed to catch a few pieces in my mouth. You're going to have to do better than that to annoy me. Annoy you, huh? Maybe I'm just testing to make sure you still know how to use your mouth. Then again, I think I'd rather get a taste of those buttery lips firsthand. Oh, stop it. The way you're emphasizing buttery makes it sound gross. Nah, it totally sounds seductive and delicious. What's there not to like? You really love food, don't you? As the TV screen pans to a nighttime scene in the suburbs, I pull Alexis close to embrace her. I love you so much, Alexis. So much that it hurts sometimes. No matter what happens in the future, I'll always be by your side, together through thick and thin. I love you too, Flare, and I always will. Please don't ever let me go. I won't. But you know, I'm the one who needs to be worried. We both know that you're the attractive one in this relationship. I bet everyone frowns over you at work all day. They don't know me like you do. Besides, you're the only one who's allowed to see my sweet, sweet jelly rolls. I won't have it any other way, my sweet darling Alexis. In this silly yet tender moment, I give Alexis the deepest kiss I can muster, butter and all. After watching the psychotic girlfriend go on a murderous rampage, we fell asleep on the couch together, cuddled up in one another's embrace. Ah, what a way to end that tale. But we know that there's more to this game than it lets on. What do the other endings entail? Because obviously, we're going to have some harsh times involving death. Because if Alexis is holding that knife in the good scene, then wouldn't you think that in some other scenario that she would kill us with the knife itself? Who knows? Let's go on the complete opposite end of the scale. We're just co-workers. As fun as today was with how Alexis behaved around me, there's no way I'd want to date her. The woman grows quiet in a way that makes me feel terrible about admitting the truth. I'm sorry, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but that's just how it is. Okay. Goodbye, Flare. Without another word, she slips inside of her apartment building and gently closes the door. I, on the other hand, am left to walk home with guilt growing in the pit of my stomach. On Monday, I come into work feeling fresh and awake. I walk over to my desk like I always do and begin organising my agenda for the day. As I work throughout the morning, I can't help but feel that something is off. It eventually hits me. Alexis never stops by my desk for her adorable, unique daily greeting. In fact, she doesn't come to work at all. Even the next day she doesn't show up. Nor the day after that. Nor the next one. With each night my concern for her grows. No one else so much as casually mentions her absence. Toward the end of the week, I cave in and decide to ask Lissa for an explanation. Do you know where Alexis is? She hasn't been in all week. The woman doesn't appear overly concerned, almost as if Alexis' lack of presence in the office is a complete normal occurrence. Any doubts I had about this incident being a mystery are instantly dispelled. She's gone. So I've noticed. Where is she though? When will she be back at work? It's not my place to tell you. She won't be returning to the office. What? Is she okay? Alexis is fine, Flare. You don't need to worry. She didn't get into an accident or anything, did she? Lissa rests a gentle hand on my shoulder, peering into my eyes with pity. No. If you must know, she called me on Sunday and informed me that she was moving back into her hometown. Is she sick? Does she have a family emergency or something? She sounded fine to me. Otherwise, I don't know. I'm not her therapist. In any case, you're still on the clock, and this honestly isn't information I should be giving you to begin with. Please get back to work, Flare. Right. Sorry. I stumbled back to my desk in a daze and slumped myself onto a chair, half consciously diving into my work. In the back of my mind, there's a nagging thought, the suggestion that somehow Alexis moving away is my fault. Every time I step into the office, I look over to where Alexis used to sit and laze around and remember how her radiant smile, remember how she always used to ask me for help. No matter how much I dwell on them, the memories ever remain fragments of the past, reminders that I might have been the one who caused Alexis to run away. I've never been able to bring myself to contact her, no matter how much I wish to ask why she suddenly disappeared. The answer, as much as I crave it, may confirm my worst fears after all. However, I've learned to accept things for what they are. Despite the sadness of the incident, my life will move on with or without Alexis in it. All I have to do is ignore the empty feeling in my chest and continue this monotonous routine. Oh dear. That is not the best outcome then. That is what you'd call another one of the ending. I don't know. I give her my honest opinion. I honestly don't know. I had fun too, but I'm not sure how I feel about you yet. I mean, we've only really hung out for a day, you know. Does that make sense? The redhead folds her arms, visibly annoyed. Flare, I like you. I really like you. But I guess I understand. We haven't seen each other for super long, and we haven't spent much time together one-on-one, so I'll forgive you this time. I can't quite understand Alexis' words, but I shrug them off. The last thing I want to do is fight on her doorstep. So, I'll see you at work on Monday. Yeah, see you then. Have a good night, Alexis. You too. I walk away as she steps through the door. In the back of my mind, I fantasize about what it might be like for us to be a couple, and it's surprisingly sweet. On Monday, I head into the office and the workday seems to be returned to normal. There are no parties or anything to complain about. Lissa gives each of us a post. I believe this is all just going to be the same. I am going to refuse to do this. Even if this were in private, there would be no way I would pamper Alexis like she was some spoiled princess who couldn't take care of herself. Pardon? What do you mean, no? Honestly, what are you, a child? We're at work, and you're asking me to feed you. You've got 2 hands of your own, do it yourself. The redhead instantly scowls, erasing the beauty of her natural features. Excuse me? I asked nicely. I don't care, I'm not doing it. Stop embarrassing yourself. Alexis, what in the world has gotten into you? Stay out of this, Lissa. This is between Flare and me. Without any hesitation, Alexis glares straight at me. You think you can just... I've been so nice to you, and now you're treating me like this way? Don't you even know how blank it feels when things don't go the way you want them to? Without warning, she snatches my fork out of my hand and throws it onto the floor. Hey, what the hell? Now that we're even. Alexis, enough! What's wrong with you? When will you learn that the workplace is not your playground? You need to grow up someday. What? You are acting completely unprofessional. You're here to work for me, not make juvenile requests for your co-workers. I don't care if you're on a break or not. As long as you're on the clock, you have to act like an adult. Alexis becomes dejected to the point of whimpering. Despite her earlier attitude towards me, with no one else to turn to, she inches a bit closer and pouts in my direction. Are you just going to let Lissa talk to me this way, Flare? You're not even going to stand up for me? And you call yourself a man? With a sigh, I lean to whisper into Alexis' ear. What do you want me to do? Lissa is our boss. I can't speak against her. Neither should you, for that matter. Please, no more arguing. I'm sick and tired of all this. To think that I can't even have a peaceful lunch break once in a while. The woman promptly stands, picking up her meal, and leaves the table. Mayu, visibly feeling uncomfortable at this point, swiftly follows suit, chasing after Lissa as she enters the stairwell. Why do you have to start this, Alexis? Shut up, I don't want to talk to you right now. I slowly lose my appetite in the end. Lunchtime is a complete disaster. By the end of the afternoon, Lissa leaves the office earlier, disappearing without anyone noticing. I can only assume it's because she's still peeved at Alexis and me. If I were in her shoes, I probably would have done the same. Regardless, I press on with my work in the hopes that I can finish the script for the bonus scenarios by the end of the night. However, the sudden boom of pop music disturbs my concentration. Unsurprisingly, I trace the source of the noise straight to Alexis' desk. Unashamed and out in the open, Alexis is reading comics on her left monitor, while on the right she's watching Korean dramas. The woman is practically making as much noise as humanly possible. What a blank, that's what she gets for trying to be the side drink. Mayu suddenly pushed out of her chair and stands, glaring at me with a gaze that suggests I'm the one to blame, that somehow Alexis' bad behaviour is my fault. Deep down, I almost agree with her. Oh dear, so what is the choice that we should make in this scenario? Well, the history is not one thing. Tell her to keep it down would be the best thing. The woman deliberately ignores me, so I try again. Alexis, please keep it down, seriously. What does that idiot think she's doing? Look at her, Flare. Alexis, if you could... Wow, she's so dumb. I hope she gets screwed over in the end. Alexis. Mayu begins tapping on her desk, doing everything she can to attract Alexis' attention. After a minute, the redhead finally pauses her video. What do you want? Can't you see that I'm busy? But busy? You're not even working. I've never seen Mayu's face contorted with anger before, her clenched fists rapidly turning white. How dare you take advantage of Lissa's absence, Alexis? Lissa this, Lissa that, blah blah blah, whatever. You think you're something real special, Mayu? Oh please, I can see how fake you... Oh gosh. The brunette freezes on the spot at a loss for words. Screw you and screw this, I'm leaving for the day. Ciao. Alexis swiftly picks up her belongings, turns off her monitors and bursts out the door. Yeah, this is the best course of action. Definitely the thing I would say if I was in this steed. No, not one bit would I actually see that this is a good idea. No, this isn't a good idea in the least. I don't care if you're bored, you're out of your damn mind. Can you stop being selfish for one single day, Alexis? Without Lissa here, the company needs all the support it can get. You'll only be contributing to the problem if you think ditching work will somehow fix everything. Honestly, what do you know, Flare? I know how I function, and taking a break is exactly what I need to work efficiently. You're not the boss of me, you can't tell me what to do. If you don't want to come with me, I'll go alone, it's as simple as that. As much as I want to avoid skipping work, I can't but be worried that Alexis will cause trouble one way or another if she's alone, whether it's for herself or others. Okay, fine, I'll tag along. I knew you'd have it in you. I knew you had it in you. You can't stay away from me, Flare, can you? Come on, let's go. And she grabs onto my arm. Oh dear. This can only end abysmal. Ask her to stop. Will you stop it with that already? I've had enough. You're seriously driving me insane. Okay, fine, I see how it is. We're going back to work and that's final. If you say so. The woman grabs my hand and leads me in the direction we came from. Silly me. I already knew that all you could think about is work. After we return to the office, workday ends without much progress being made. Incidentally, Alexis still chooses not to be productive. Of course. No explanation of her disappearance is ever provided. She assumed the operations would continue smoothly without her, like a well-oiled machine. Unfortunately, little does she know, the company's teamwork is virtually non-existent without her, and Alexis is. Unfortunately, more unhinged than any of us realise. I was wrong to think that she could change. It's impossible for me to rationalise her behaviour anymore. And she no longer listens to me as well. Tell me, Flare. I'm still waiting. Stop it, okay? Does my response even matter? You keep asking me to repeat, I want you, like a broken record. Once should have been enough, you know. Yeah, it does. Your answer means everything to me. So, I'm still waiting, Flare. You haven't proven that I can trust you yet. Please, Alexis, I need to work. We could talk about this later. We could go out for lunch together or something. No, even better. I'll give you candy. How does that sound? Will that prove how much I want you? Sounds sweet, but no. Anyone can do that. Anyone can pretend to show they care by giving me things I like. It needs to be something that only you can give me with your own words. They have to come from your heart. Tell me, Flare. I'm waiting. I don't know what to do anymore. Alexis won't leave my side. She refuses to take yes or no for an answer. Saying what she wants to hear doesn't satisfy her. And bribing her doesn't get us anywhere either. At this point, I just want to be left alone. But that isn't happening. I give up. You win. I'm putting an end to this. I get out of my seat to find Lissa, as reluctant as I am to do this. Alexis, how many times do I have to tell you to stop procrastinating? You're disrupting Flare and everyone around you. If you don't stop this poor behaviour straight away, I'll be forced to ask you to leave for the day. Is that clear? With her eyes downcast, red hair silently nods. Good. Don't make this hard on yourself. As the stern woman walks away, she mutters under her breath. Why is she always like this? I look Alexis straight in the face, but she hasn't budged an inch from where she stands. So, you don't want to tell me, is that it? Come on, do you hear, Alyssa? Whatever joke you're pulling isn't funny anymore. Can't we go back to how we used to be, you know, with workplace boundaries and all that? All you do is find Alyssa. Alexis is bothering me. Alexis is getting on my nerves. Is she all you ever think about? Lissa? Wow, Alexis, I only went to her because if it hasn't already occurred to you, she's our boss. Seriously, get a grip. If you left me alone a while ago, it never would have come to that to begin with. No, I guess you could never understand me after all. How can you? You'll always be Lissa's childhood friend. No one can erase that, and I was wrong to think you were someone I could fall in love with. Whatever, you can have Lissa forever and ever. I'll leave you two alone. I mean, it's fine that you don't want me, right? Who would want to be someone as damaged as me anyway? What? No, that's not what's happening. I didn't say anything about wanting to date Lissa. Even after you blanked me, even after everything we've been through together, you still don't want me. Well, if that's what you want, I'll say it's goodbye, Flare. What do you mean goodbye? I never said I wanted you to leave. Acting as if she can't say a word or can hear a word, I say. Alexis disappears towards her workstation. I return to work, but Redhead's words haunt me throughout the day. During lunch, she deliberately avoids making eye contact with me. At this point, I don't even know if I'm willing to work with her any longer. It shouldn't be never work with your friends, but never work with your lover. That's a good point. Later in the afternoon, I go to find Alexis and check whether or not she's on task. However, it quickly becomes apparent that Redhead left early without notifying me for whatever reason. To get to the bottom of her truancy, half worried that she might still be upset with me, I rush towards the boss's office. Once Liz hears about the situation, she takes on an indulgent stance, her arms folded over her chest. She asks to leave early. Honestly, though, what am I going to do with this girl? It's like she thinks she can come and go as she pleases. Do you know why she left? No, I don't care to ask. It's none of my business. Okay, cool. Walking back, I think about how peculiar Alexis can be at times. Even with all of the good times we've shared, I still can't understand what she's thinking sometimes. There is going to be something amiss. I walk into my living room and lock the door. Within seconds, however, I'm hit with the eerie feeling that something's amiss. A dark silhouette lurks in the shadows of the kitchen area, and I feel a strong gaze trained on me. Hello, is anyone there? No matter how long I wait, there's no answer. When I gain courage to move again, I rush out to turn on the lights. This is going to end badly. As I get situated at the table, women jump straight into conversation. I thought it through, and I think I owe you an apology. That's what the cake's for. It's totally delicious. Anyway, there's some things that I think you should know about me before we go any further. She raises, okay. Alexis, if you could please just stop playing with a knife already. Heh, stop. Why would I ever do that? She continues to lick frosting off of the knife's blade. I'm enjoying this too much, you know. The fun in seeing you squirm is endless. I'm sure you get something out of this too, though. What do you mean? You must have laughed a whole lot while you betrayed me. The woman glows at me. What are you talking about? Instead of answering my question, Alexis returns to her usual playful self. Might be fun to cut someone up too. I wonder if human flesh would cut as easily as a slice of cake. Hey Flare, do you want me to find out? Do you want to find out with me? No, I don't. Really? Because I think you do. For once, I for one would love to share every dripping second of it with you. The redhead stands up and starts towards me, the edge of a knife pointed in my direction. No, that's okay. Why don't you sit down, Alexis? Oh no, neither of us needs to sit down from this ill demonstration. Don't worry, just like betrayal, it'll only hurt for a little while, like a bee sting. She slowly backs me towards the front door. Why are you here? What do you want from me? Oh, Flare, I thought you got it by now. You're supposed to tell me that you love we share is real and prove no one else matters more than you. Well, to you. But you're just a blind idiot, aren't you? You just had to choose her instead, didn't you? I want you. Oh, this is too late now. Then, now, please stop this. No, you don't know how blank it feels to be hurt and lied to. My back is already against the metallic door, but when she inches even closer, I push myself even further. Meanwhile, I frantically, blindly reach off to the side, attempting to unlock the door. No, you had your chance. You're only saying what I want to hear. It's not like you ever honestly wanted me. The redhead grabs my wrist and holds me against the door. I try to squirm free, but she's a lot stronger than she appears. I can't wait to feel the delicious sensation of sliding a knife into something soft again. Oh, my delicious Flare. You're the sweetest treat in existence. I want to taste you. Ugh. Somehow I feel a sharp, cool object penetrate my chest. The pain is less than I expected, perhaps because the blade is so well sharpened. The fear is what truly overcomes me. I scream and shake as tears stem down Alexis's face. Ah, blank! Oh, shush, shush, Flare, I'm right here. She kisses and caresses me with lovingly holding onto the handle of the knife. That look of fear on your face. The way you're struggling with the sensation of someone devouring you whole. I love it so much. The pain slices even further into my core, my vision tainting black around the edges. You're struggling so hard even though you know it's pointless, just like friendship and love, huh? No matter how much you yell and beg for them to stop, they'll always keep hurting you, tearing at every bit of your existence until there's only an empty shell left. She twists the knife even deeper, delicately caressing my face all the while. Ah! Flare, thanks to you, I've realized that men can be just as lovely and hopeless as paintings. The way you scream, the way your eyes beg for forgiveness, I can't get enough of this. Alexis! I thought you understood me, but even after you blanked me, you tossed me aside like a candy wrapper, just like everyone else did. You're the same as them, rotten on the inside. No, I'd never... She thrusts the knife as deep into my chest as she can, blood splattering all over her hand as she forces her way inside up to the handle, tears filling her eyes once more while she leans in to kiss me. Shh, Flare, no more. I only wish that you could love me like I love you. As Alexis lies me on the floor, my mind begins to shut down. It's okay though. This way, you'll always be my beautiful masterpiece. My one and only, my Flare. What a horrible ending that was. This is why you don't date girls like Alexis. Energetic and very, very much like Yuri. I don't know. Actually, that's wrong because Yuri's not an airhead. The middle route. As make an excuse. I don't want to leave anyone with bad taste, but the only way I can think of getting out of this situation is to feign being ill. Although it's difficult to come up with a plan on the spot. Sorry Alexis, to be honest, I'm not feeling all that well at the moment. Huh? Really? What's wrong? Well, you see, it's like the smell of the odor and the humidity today are getting to me. It's hard to explain. From Liz's gaze, it's clear that she already suspects that I'm not being entirely honest. It's a good thing, however. She can read the situation well enough to know not to step in. Too bad. You can take the rest of my lunch if you want. I need to go for a breather anyway. Sure. Luckily, everything goes better than planned. Alexis doesn't appear to suspect a thing. Not at all. I quietly slink away from the table and head upstairs to rest. By the end of the afternoon, Lisa slips out of the office without telling anyone, although I've no idea why. She never leaves her work behind her unless there's a very good reason. Regardless, I press on with my work in the hopes that I can finish the script for the bonus scenarios by the end of the night. However, the sun... Okay, this again. This case, I have not yet tell her to get on with her work. Don't tell me what to do. Shouldn't you be working as well? I have been working actually, or I was until you jacked up the volume on your show. Honestly, it's not that difficult. Just get your assignment done, and then you can fool around as much as you want for the rest of the day. Gosh, I can't believe you rival Lisa in annoyingness. Are you supposed to be on my side, Flare? In case you haven't noticed, I've been looking out for you every day. I just don't want this situation to become more complicated than it needs. Who says I need your help? You barely know me. As I take in the opposite direction, Redhead pulls up her illustration software on one of the monitors and resumes sketching. Within minutes, however, I hear her chair swish away from her desk. Boring. This is so damn boring. Screw this, I'm leaving. Without saying another word or meeting anyone's gaze, Alexis picks up and bursts out the door, reluctantly going on with it. I don't know about that. What if Lisa comes in to find us missing? We'll be fine. Trust me, she's not going to come, and I guarantee she won't suspect a thing. You don't know that. But I do, because you've got me. All of this depression about sales and whatnot just isn't healthy for the mind. Either of our minds. We'll only be out long enough to clear our heads. What do you say? I still don't think this is a good idea, but alright. Then let's get a move on. Ask her to stop would be our next... No, reprind her. Look, step into my shoes for a minute. Do you think repeating myself over and over again will make me understand what you're trying to say? I'm going to say this once. Being annoying isn't going to make me want to get any closer to you, honestly. It makes you so much less attractive. Oh, sorry, yeah, attractive. I'll say so much attentive then, to me. So please stop acting like a child. Now do you get it? The redhead looks at me startled. You're not very good at being like Lisa, aren't you? Are you? I've got to give you credit for finally saying what's on your mind, but you need more consistency. With that, the woman shrugs. So, with that taken care of, maybe we should get back to work. Fine. I escort the woman back to the office, and with little to no progress made, the day ends relatively early. Lisa's not there. Of course, can't be there. Alexis, why are you doing this? I want to talk. Are you still mad about yesterday? How am I supposed to make things right if you're not willing to communicate? She continues to ignore me, simply drawing away her desk. With no other options in mind, I have no other choice but to give up for now. I probably return to work, slightly bothered by how pointless it is to reason with Alexis. During lunch, I once more attempted to make up with her. This time, however, I'm prepared. Here, Alexis. I handed her the candy I bought earlier this week as insurance for this kind of situation. Alexis, I'm sorry that I upset you. I hope things can go back to normal soon. She looks at me, still slightly annoyed. Thanks, Blair. It's okay. I guess you don't know any better. She happily takes the gift, shoving the candy into her pockets. But you still owe me. Treat me to ice cream or something else tasty on your next day off. I'm not sure exactly why I owe her, but I figure it's easier to go along with it than not. Deal. Yay! Alexis finally returns to normal for the remainder of lunchtime. She's licking the icing off the edge of the blade, innocently giggling all the while she takes the pleasure in my horrified expression. Hee. Oh, you look so delicious right now. If only I could eat you up. She hacks off a large chunk of the cake and begins feeding it to me with her flat edge of a knife. Is this for me? Of course it is, silly. For you and you alone. The way Alexis's eyes are fixated on me feels slightly disturbingly maniacal. Maniacal? A creeping feeling crawls up from the pit of my stomach, slowly walking in its way of my throat. I nearly cough out in nervousness. No, it's okay. I'm not hungry anyway. Stop acting so weird, Flare. It's just cake. Everyone likes cake. I want you to enjoy every morsel of this. Come on, say ah. She pushes the blade even closer towards me. With no other choice, I open my mouth as wide as I can. The knife cleanly enters my mouth at the same time as a sweet. It's horrifying to think that if Alexis sticks the knife any further in, she'll slice right through my throat. Finally, she moves her arm away and licks the remaining frost of the utensil. What do you think? Pretty tasty, huh? Oh, yeah, wonderful. I'm so glad you agree with me, Flare. Yeah, take another bite. Okay. She force feeds the next morsel to me in the same twisted manner, and I have no choice but to endure the situation. For it all, I'm filled with unbearable anguish. Whether I'm sitting on the brink between life and death, even though it feels like a ridiculous overreaction. The next day, I come back to the routine of trying to complete Missouri Loves Company bonus content before the end of the week. Plain hooky dragging me on dates, breaking into my apartment to force feed me cake. I can only wonder what will happen next. For all I know, Alexis might force me to do something repulsive the next time we meet. More than anything, I want to get away from her. I skip over to my desk to find that Alexis has been called into the office. Curious, I sneak over and peer through the slightly ajar door. The redhead steps up to the front and confronts Lisa in a blunt, straightforward manner, although I can't hear her words clearly enough to understand them. During lunch, I sneak out of work to have a talk with Alexis. Why don't you tell me that you're looking for another job? Well, it's kind of like I'm surprised about it too. I totally didn't expect to actually get hired. Surprised? What do you mean? I mean, you're a capable and talented artist, Alexis. The redhead embarrassingly shifts around, sorry. Anyway, I got a job with a studio that makes first-person shooters. Here's the catch you'll never believe. Oh gosh. This again? Manslaughter is way cooler than some blue-collar crime to burn, but I'll probably think it makes me extra qualified if you think about it. Yeah, I think that's a serious crime as well. After pondering the question for a long while, she shakes her head. Sorry, I don't think I trust you enough to tell you. Honestly, it's probably just one of those things that are best left on a need-to-know basis. That's alright. I'm just glad things are sorted out for you. Thanks, Blair. So what now? You know, about us. Alexis takes a deep breath and looks at me square in the eyes. Actually, the reason I want to leave in the first place is that it's not working out. It feels like I'm dating an Alyssa clone, which is honestly pretty weird. You're doing great and all, but I appreciate that you tried to listen to me too. I just don't think I can be happy with you. I need someone less controlling, let's say. Before I can say anything, the redhead gives me a peck in the cheek, the warmth of her lips filling me with finality. Tell Lisa that I'll be back to the office late. I'm gonna go get myself some ice cream. Would you like to come with me? Would you like me to come with you, sorry? Oh, Flare, even after I ratted you out and dumped you, you're still willing to skip out with me? To be honest, I don't think the rebellious lifestyle suits you. It's best that you go back without me. Oh, okay. Dejected, I return to lunch, joining Mayu and Lissa's table. Alexis never returns from her ice cream run, and I never see her or hear from her again. Although her new life is apparently going well. Whew. My voice box is completely exhausted after doing all that. You probably noticed by the end of this recording that you know, folks, that voice boxes get a very bit exhausted after all this talking. I literally done the previous episode and this episode of Alexis's run in one foul swoop. So that's why I cut that into 2 segments, because it's been going on for about like 2 hours or so. And having that in one episode is pretty not good. So that is Mayu's route done and Alexis's route done. Now Lissa's route, which is the final route, and probably actually as well, I'm thinking this is going to be the most tame route out of all of them. Like the other two, they have some pretty weird obsessions. But with Lissa, I believe it will be as smooth as the cake frosting in which Alexis puts into our mouth. But thank you so much for watching, and see you all in the next time, folks. Have a wonderful day and take care of yourselves.